to stage. All right, sorry about that, everyone. Welcome. Let me know if you're online. This is a live show coming to you from Australia. I'm David Starlyte, and I'm happy to be with you today. What's on your mind? What's happening? It seems like there's some war going on in the Middle East, which has been a flashpoint for a while. And so I did see that as breaking news. I'm just seeing if I can get this to expand. Exit. Okay, I'm just trying to expand that. And welcome to Kim. Great to see you, Kim. So I'm just making sure we're online. I wasn't sure what was going on. I'm used to having a lot of support from Deb. So lots of love out to you, Deb. So we are live today. So any comments would be greatly appreciated. And Stu, you there from Florida. And Kim is watching a show at work. So just setting a sacred portal, sacred space for this show so that we can raise the vibration collectively. And remember that it starts with you. Just a deep breath, clearing all energies around you that may not be supportive, so we can bring in the supportive energies, the allowing energies, the angels and guides that are bringing the highest possible timeline, the highest possible good for us and the collective of the world. So Kim is busy at work, so I understand you cannot say too much. Stu's in Florida. What's happening with you, Stu? Perhaps we can focus on our breathing, just to see if people are going to come in and be more interactive. Otherwise, let me know, Kim, any questions, anything you would like to be discussed. I'm pretty open in terms of what we can talk about, so feel free to let the comments flow. So if you are viewing this as a recorded show, we're live, and just setting a tone for ourselves in this, interacting with the environment around us, the world, and doing so with concentrating one's focus, one's consciousness, very simply on the space between breaths. Very peaceful, very beautiful, and so simple. You can have a longer, more protracted, silent practice after the show. You're always welcome to do that. That's a great practice, daily practice. Sometimes I'm not so disciplined, believe it or not. I get busy with other things. So for me, it's also a reminder to slow down, take a deep breath, bring in higher consciousness, and focus my energies in a productive way, so that I'm on the timeline for the highest possibility, the highest good. So let me know what's going on in the world. I'm going to pick a card for the Middle East and see if we can get some insights into what's happening over there. And I'm seeing almost like a tinderbox, almost like this is a fire. And that fire exists within each one of us. So this is a collective message saying that each one of us has some, call it a shadow, and this is kind of being exposed. It's rising up to the surface. But war is something that's been part of the human narrative for a very long time. And this is continuing. It's almost like the power of yin and yang, and you have all those forces that are merging and mapping each other out. And war can be this opposition. Of course, we share the world. We breathe the same air. And as Stu says, it's disturbing what's happening. And yeah, absolutely. So what insight do you have at the moment, Stu? Or are you just focusing on peace and enjoying the moment? Because when we get too absorbed into war, we're absorbing ourselves into that energy. So also realizing that it's not helping the situation, engaging with negative energies or dark energies. Rather put on beautiful music. I've been listening to chanting, Gregorian chanting, and Stu says he's worried about war. I do feel there's negotiations. I feel this card, it's saying this is bringing balance. This card is saying it's bringing yin and yang. So there's a collective energy happening, and it's this card says that things are almost on pause mode, but there is this sort of spiraling energy going outward to be just a spiral. So the energy's been building, and this is just kind of an explosion. So that can actually be a good thing to release that kind of explosion, to let it out, let it go. And I'm going to pick another card. Let's have a look. And Stu says he loves Gregorian chants. That's beautiful, Stu, because I feel like that's the most helpful thing we can do at the moment, and raise the positive vibration. We all have that power, and other people are not helping by sort of delving into war, and because it becomes kind of a type of gratuitous energy that's not. It's sort of our own bloodlust on the, and I see this in some of the Netflix series and some of the movies they make. It's glorifying violence, and it's a pity that we do that, and it makes so many movies which are glorifying violence. And I feel like this is really it's really not helpful. Our heroes do not need to be war heroes. Our heroes can be sports athletes. They can be musicians, artists. Why do we need our heroes to be war heroes? Because most of the Hollywood movies, they seem to have some kind of war-like character who seems to defeat everyone and kill everyone and then emerges as the victor. All right, so let's see what's going on in the collective energy at the moment. Okay. So this card has a lot of light, a lot of engagement. It says there is a collective sort of transmission occurring. It's like the energy is waking people up. So this is about a card that says the energy is waking people up, which is kind of may be negative in the short term, but kind of in the long term, it's a positive wave. So let me know, anyone online, what's going on. Would you like some readings? Would you like to discuss any particular topic? I didn't come in with much of anything prepared or any topic prepared, so we're just on the fly reading the collective. So any comments and questions are greatly appreciated. I like to talk about duality, non-duality. I feel like it's a great conversation. Rowena, Putz. Oh, it's a dog. It took me a while to figure out what that was. It's a dog. Is that a German Shepherd? I'm not sure. Lovely, lovely dog, Rowena. So, what do you feel about this idea of duality, non-duality? I feel like it's theoretical, and it's nice to talk about. We have so many energies. We have such a pluralism in, in actual life. There's so much variety on this planet. It's just a planet of variety. There's not really just a dualism and non-dualism, or there's not really a binary, but there are binary concepts. I think with gender we have a certain binary construct, and that's in nature too. You have any animal species, well, not any animal, because some you just have one you just have one gender, which is really cool. So there's so many examples in nature of pluralism, that there isn't just one idea or one answer or one way of looking at it, one perspective or one consciousness. There's always a multiple consciousness, and I think that how we look at the planets is interesting. Like, we have an idea of north and south, and that is it's pretty artificial. Because south could be north. Why is it set up that way? So, growing up in Africa, a lot of us saw that the maps actually made Africa smaller, and we were like, well, that's an interesting perspective, but we don't particularly like being made small. And so there's so much perspective that colors how things are set up in the world, and that's a really good example of it. That even our maps have been manipulated, or in many cases the maps are still being manipulated. And even just north and south, how does that color your perspective of the world? Because whoever is on the top is really saying, well, you guys are on the bottom, so that colors your perspective, and something is elevated or so, but it's not really real at all. It's just a standard that's been created. Oh, thank you, Rowena. Thanks for answering. So where are you, Rowena? Let me know where you're tuning in from, how you feel about duality, non-duality, how you feel about the current wars in the world. What is this saying about human nature, and how can we shift this separation into interconnection, into a different narrative of peace, of goodwill, of people working together for the highest possible good, and noting that we share this reality, we co-create this world. We are, the more divided we are, the more we suffer. So it's really about lessening suffering, creating peace. And non-duality, I play with it. I don't think it is just an abstract kind of philosophy. It's nice to explore, and I feel like with many religions, it's helpful to have a little bit of an insight into what's really important. Indivisibility. Many of the yoga and meditation traditions have a real practice in this kind of sense of non-duality, in the sense of what is indivisible, what is exploring peace, and bringing us into this state which people call oneness. And bring it to the shed. I don't know what that means, Rowena, but you could be referring to your dog, perhaps. I don't know, Rowena. What is the purpose of your life? Is the world an illusion? What is actually real? So, there's so many great questions, and there's no absolute answer to any of these kind of questions. Like, if I say, who are you? You could say nothing, or you could talk endlessly. You could talk endlessly. Who am I? Because there isn't an answer. It's sort of ongoing. It sort of merges with, talking about the yin and the yang. The yin merges with the yang merges with the yin. The abstract merges with the unconsciousness, with the spiritual, with the amorphous, and you could almost talk endlessly about the spiritual, or say absolutely nothing. In that nothingness, in that void, are all the answers. Rowena, I am from Newfoundland, Canada. That's really interesting and a different perspective on the world, because Rowena, I'm in Australia, so very different way of life, I imagine. I'm in tropical Australia, so Newfoundland sounds like it would be summer now or autumn. So I imagine it's quite a warm time of the year, Rowena. And what does it mean to be spiritual? Because I always think we use these words, and I understand what you mean in a way, but it could mean so much. And it's an interesting phase of the world, because so many people are turning away from religion and turning into spirituality, and that can have drawbacks too. The religions have tend to have dogma within them, and things that have been misunderstood, have been misinterpreted, and manipulated. So I think we sense that within the religions. We sense that there's something real behind all of it. There's something true and real and spiritual beyond any of the concepts. It also, sometimes people go too far and they lose their sense of groundedness, or self-identity, or things that are useful, skillful, just to operate in the world, to operate a machine, to operate life, a human life. There's many aspects of what we need, ingredients that we need to survive in the world. We need also to be able to function effectively in the world. So what is effective functioning in the world? It sometimes requires practical skills. I think our thoughts can manifest for us. So our thoughts definitely can. Just the thought of peace. How does the thought of peace feel for you? What does it do for you? It's full here right now. So I imagine that's like autumn, Rowena. I think our thoughts can manifest for us. So manifestation is also quite a broad topic, because just if I say think of a pink elephant or something like that, it's immediately going to invite your imagination to construct an idea of maybe a visual idea of what a pink elephant is. So everything we say is like dropping a seed. It's creation. It's in the Bible it says the word was the first thing, was the word. Before there was anything manifest, anything created, there was the word. Because there has to be an idea. The idea comes first. So at any time one says something in the world, one's pushing out an energy, an identity, a concept. So when we talk about peace, we actually, well, for me, I feel more peaceful. I feel, that's nice. I feel more calm. So talking about things that are positive, that help our mental well-being, really bring us forward, instead of often perhaps talking about what we don't like, what we don't want. And that sets you on a trajectory, because you can always find more things that you don't like. It goes on forever. I don't like this, and I don't want that. And the same thing in the positive direction. We can always find something beautiful, particularly when you live in nature. There's so much wonderment. There's so much over here in the tropics. There's so many interesting creatures that I discover that I never knew existed, or like, what is that? something really interesting. Welcome to Carlos. I'm doing well, Carlos. How are you? What's going on? I've been sleeping well and just calming down because I think I'm not sure if you know I was away. Oh, when was I away? So I think last week was I away. I cannot remember now. I was away, and I forget if I talked about it. Yes, we have to stay positive. So being positive, but in terms of manifestation, it's our feelings and our thoughts are often, really interconnected. What we're thinking about, of course, is going to affect our feelings, and that is a manifestation. Thoughts and feelings, and it's also the physical realm that our bodies have all these neurochemicals, all these happy molecules, for instance, like dopamine, and these molecules that are activated that make us feel good, like even the feeling of being in love. We have these love molecules. A mother will have these wonderful activations with a child, with a baby, that get activated. So that's something real. That's something real. So I'm just forgetting what. I'm just forgetting what I'm thinking of for the mother. There's an emotional response which is I forget what it's called. When a baby is born, there's an emotion that's set up in a mother. So now scientists are becoming conscious of such things, and then it's what do we do with this consciousness? Do we manipulate it, or do we activate it, use it for positive good? And Carlos, that's great. It's good to see you, Carlos, and thank you for sharing the show. And as you said, it's October the 1st. I forgot. So happy October the 1st. There is definitely a significant energy on October. I'm feeling that. And Carlos says he knows. Good seeing you. Great to see you, Carlos. I'm going to pick a card for October. See what significance the month of October has for us now. And something's just jumping out at me. Let me just see what that is. So it feels like there's an importance of moving things forward, shifting gears in October, and some projects that you may have been working on for a long time. It feels like, all right, now's the time to get this, to nut this out, to get this actually into action. But also an encouragement in this card to activate sensuality, creativity, so the ability to create new things in the world. So that's really important at this time, to create new things in the world, activating and this is something innate within human beings. We have this wonderful ability to create things, and this card is saying remember yourself, remember who you are, and develop this kind of, I would call it an intimacy with the self, with your self-expression, where you have license to express unexplored ideas, to things that have been held within you. Bring them out now in October. This card is saying time to bring this out, express yourself, and nurture the things that you've perhaps let slide, the qualities within yourself, or the whispers that you hear that you haven't listened. Now's the time to bring that into fruition. So Zela, I don't know how you say your name. Zela, so lovely to see you from Ireland, a wonderful island. And Soul Prism podcast, live code, I'm in. So that sounds really cool, Soul Prism podcast. So let me know who you are, what is, maybe I'd also like to know about Soul Prism podcast. That would be really interesting. And thank you for coming into the show. I haven't seen you before. I love to see new people. Soul Prism. So that's a really interesting name. I like that. Soul Prism. Soul Prism. So it's a lot of energy just in that word, soul prism. It's a couple words really. And what does it mean, a soul prism? Does it capture the energy of the soul? And how does that affect our beliefs, our karma that's woven into the present moment, our thoughts, our beliefs, our environment, our karma, perhaps our family trajectory? There's so many factors that are interplaying. I was born October 31st. Oh, so this is your birthday month, Zella. It's your birthday month, and you've probably had a lot of numerology done, Zella. But just quickly, we have a 1, a 3, and a 4. 1, 3, 4. So your birth number is actually 1. So that's a beautiful number. You're number 1. And number 1 is a powerful number. As you know, it's the first number. And so often this is a sign of I would say, strong will. It's a sign of a strong will. You're there. You're number 1. You want to live life to the greatest extent. Like you want to do it all. And I wish I could get your name. Is it Zella? Hope Zella's right. And Soul Prism is our unique light. So that's really beautiful. What is your name, Soul Prism? And are you running this podcast? It sounds really wonderful. I'd love to hear more. Maybe you could also share a little bit. Crystal, welcome from Edmonton, Canada. We were just talking about the fall and Rowena's in Newfoundland. Sorry about my pronunciation. Newfoundland. Is it Newfoundland? And anyways, Edmonton, welcome, Crystal. Great to see you. And Zella, I'm a pagan. I'm sorry, I'm getting your pronunciations all wrong. Zella, I'm a pagan. I'm sorry, I can't believe I got that pronunciation. Getting there, pagan. So what does that mean? I don't know much about the meaning of pagan, to be honest. But I think it's I think there's a lot of us who are technically pagan because we're not religious in the old-fashioned way in terms of being necessarily going to church all the time or whatever it is. Maybe some of us will go to church once a year for Christmas or something like that, but we're not. I think a lot of us are pagan in their own way in terms of being also connected to the ancient ways, being interested in spirituality and the likes. And there's some people have different worships, with different way they worship nature, perhaps. So I'd be interested to know what it means to you. Paga. I'm a spiritual. I don't believe in God or devil. I believe in Mother Earth. So that's really, really beautiful. That's really beautiful. And often it's just about definitions, how you define it. That Mother Earth has this wonderful essence, and she is alive. She knows us. We're part of her. We can communicate with her. And Tammy Mack, I'm on YouTube. I'm from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. So that is so extraordinary. I'm really just amazed. just being in Australia, I guess I've never been to Canada, and I've always felt the open spaces and the connection with Canada. There's perhaps an ancient past life connection for me, just the rhythm of the ancient quality of nature. We were talking a bit about paganism with Zella and her connection with Mother Earth, and I feel that's really strong in Canada. Love seeing all us Canadians here. Anyhow, I love astrology, human design, shamanism, and esoteric wisdom. So I think that's really incredible, Tammy, and I think also Azella would have a lot of connection. Tell me if you relate to that, Zella, with astrology, human design, shamanism, and esoteric wisdom. So I think for me, I always like words and their vibration, their energies, and I'm always like the kind of shamanism. I like the feel of that. And in my body work practice, I've used shamanism. I believe in shamanism. I believe it's like our innate human blueprint, our innate, going back to our core, I call it our instinctual knowledge, but also combining esoteric wisdom as well. Shamanism it's pretty general kind of term, I think, as well as pagan. It's pretty general, but we all have traditions, and humanity has all these beautiful traditions that go back through time. I've been to Sydney, Australia. I was just there a couple of weeks ago, Zella. And so we've got these beautiful Canadians, Tammy and Crystal in Alberta. All right, so I think Tammy, you asked for you asked me to pick a card for you, right? Let's just have a look at that. So Zella, I was just talking a little bit about life path number, and I said you were number one. I'm just writing that in the comments. Life path number. Okay. So all these beautiful Canadians, and I guess it's nighttime for you. So Tammy, let's just ask these cards to bring us some wisdom for you today. And how wonderful that you are raising the vibration, communicating with the planets. Through the prism of the soul, which has a very, very incredible depth. So that comes out, just the use of that word, soul prism. So there's a male figure around you. I'm just trying to look into that. It does feel like you have this male energy there, and he's quite quirky, and he's got a real kind of companion, friendship, warm-hearted type of energy. So there's a romantic energy. There's a man, romantic possibility. So there's a romantic energy here. So that's really a very balancing kind of energy. High intention. So there's a devotion, there's a loyalty, and there's a calling here. This card is saying spiritual purpose. So there's a calling here, which is a type of spiritual destiny you have that lights up for you. It's a karmic path you're on that's saying this is the way. And that's clearly what you're doing already. So this is just endorsing that. Of course, along the way, you're learning imprints, you're learning lessons, karmic lessons, and there is a personal growth, but there's lots of angels and guides around you supporting you, celebrating you, and bringing you more inspiration and wisdom. And this pathway is opening up different openings or different possibilities. So I'm seeing things can get quite busy with you, that these options open up for you. And so just take a deep breath, and you'll know what to do. You'll be called in the direction that's meant for you. No, just stay in an effortless high vibration state, Tammy, and things will flow for you. So thank you, Tammy. Zella, I'm a psychic medium from birth. I found out I had a gift when I was 5 years old. So what happened when you were 5, Zella? That sounds like a really interesting story. And Zella, can I get a card, please? Yes. So let's have a look into you, Zella. Firstly, Andrea Hector. So welcome, Andrea. Welcome to the spiritual space, and it's wonderful to have you. We've got a lot of Canadian energies here today. Let me know what's on your mind. Where are you in the world, Andrea? I'd love to know where you are. I'm in Australia in the tropics. And Zella, let's just clear the energy a bit and open up to you. All right, so you are open to the world. I get the world card, and I get a really strong feminine hit on you. So this is really saying you are very connected to the goddess energy. So the goddess energy. So let's have a look, Zella. It feels like travel's important, like you really have a mission to see the world, and you're very strong energy that's part of the expansion, part of the opening up. I would say that things that you're seeing, you're attaching to certain things, certain ideas about the world. You have got caught up in attachment. And it's just saying, remember, there's a higher purpose for you. There's a higher purpose for everything. And don't hold on to things too tightly, Zella. Let things go. Even any idea, I was talking a bit about duality, non-duality. These are all ideas. What is the practical impact? What is actually real? Like, who are you really? There's no absolute answer. There's perceptions, ideas. Some people get caught up in things that are just a fragment of their soul. That's not really their true soul identity. It's just a garment they put on. So someone will put on a red shirt and play a game of, now I'm a, whatever, a blue shirt, a green shirt. I saw my dad died in a car accident when I was 6. Oh, so that's extraordinary, Zella. So you were 5 years old and you saw his dad. Wow. That is amazing, Zella. So you do have the power, that gift, Zella. So just be wary that you're a soul and you're here to play the games. That's all very well, but take a step back as well and realize that you may you can get a bit stuck in physicality, emotional patterns, old relationships, codependencies, fear. And sometimes it's helpful for you, Zella, to break free out of any chains holding you back and move towards your happiness, like break free of the old, move towards your happiness, because these cards are really extraordinary cards. And the goddess of the moon, she's alive and feminine. She comes alive at night, actually. She's filled with enchantment, intuition. She's all about intuition. So you have that energy, the intuition. It's just can get your intuition can get covered over almost by I would say attachments and just old energy. So clear away all the old and just see things. Remember, there's an infinite number of ways to see anything, so you don't have to see it one way. Practice seeing things from other perspectives. But you could do mediumship, Zella. You could actually open up your psychic ability and offer it to people. So this is coming through here that you could actually offer it to people. Andrea, so thank you, Zella, and great to have you all the way from Ireland, Andrea. Okay, Marie, let's see what you're saying. Thank you, and welcome, Onessa. Great to see you, Onessa. Zella, I'm a single mom with an autism son. Had my son tuition. Artificial inseminated and 3 businesses. Wow, you're a very busy lady, Zella. I had my son tuition. I don't know what, I'm not sure what that means, had my son tuition. So that was the IVF, Zella. So you've got your son through IVF and you've got you. So you're really busy lady, Zella. Vanessa, Marie. So Andrea, you're in Chicago. You're from Chicago, but you live in Indiana, Lafayette. So I don't know Indiana. What's it like in Indiana? Yeah, I guess it's also the fall. So thank you, Andrea. That's really interesting. What's it like in Indiana? Zella, thank you so much for sharing. And I don't know what it was a misprint. Okay, misprint, I get you. All right, Zella, well, thank you and bless you. Okay, Marie's from England, so I know you, Marie. Welcome back, Marie. I'm just drinking my tea over here. We're contemplating the ideas we have and how they're always just ideas. They're never the full reality. You know, you can say it's a car. That's a label. And a car is, you know, it's a lot more than just a word. It's like 3 letters and it's like it's a car. But it's so much more than that. So much more than that. And you know, even the way we create physical objects like cars, and then they have an energy to them, and they connect to our own energy. We interact with their energy field, so there is an interaction. If you have your own car, you have this connection with your own car, and that car is a vibrational energy. You know, everything has a vibrational energy, so we're interacting with those energies. And maybe your car would, if you put your hands over it, that can affect it. It will work for you one way, for another person would work a different way. So there is this interaction. It's not just a cold object, because everything has an aliveness. If you look closely, you will see the molecules, how they dance, how they move, how there's you can call them alive. There's an aliveness, even things we think are completely dead. Thank you, blessed be, you are beautiful, Amanda. may you have many blessings from the God. Oh, thank you so much, Zella. So blessing you from the Goddess, blessing me from the Goddess, and may you be blessed, may you go in peace. And lots of love to Zella. I know it must be challenging having a son with autism, which has become really common these days with all the chemicals in our environment. So lots of love to you, Zeller, and you are doing a purposeful. You are purposeful. You have magical cards, so you have magic around you, Zeller. So Andrea may have a card, love, a card about love. Or I saw the energy of my dog. So wow, that was amazing, Kim. I didn't know that. How extraordinary! Wow, how it's such a I can't put words to something like that. It's a touching experience and connects us to what is real, and it's almost like the reality beyond the reality that we see. And Zelish says she is rewarding, fine, and I'm happy. So that's also so beautiful, Zella, because sometimes it's like we paint people in a way. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, or shame, or whatever. And instead of celebrating that path and going, well, how beautiful that you're doing, that you're that, and that's how your son is beautiful, and just filling yourself with love and allowing that love to be filter into all parts of your consciousness. A card for the current energy around me. All right, Andrea, let's pick a card for you, Andrea. Andrea. Okay. And Kim confirms everything is energy. All right, so Andrea, there's some concern around you. It's like you're feeling quite anxious about the way things are. It's like it's like a little bit uncertain, but a little bit slow. Feels like you're frustrated with things not really turning out, like not really flowing for you at the moment. It just feels that things are a bit obstructed. There's a lot of thinking going on, which thoughts can be useful, but it's in a way it's not productive for you at the moment. So you definitely need a bit of space, Andrea, a bit more space and spaciousness. A hike out in nature that would clear your mind a bit. Be a little bit patient. Remember, the unseen world works in a mysterious way. So the unseen is just saying, be a bit patient. Things are working behind the scenes, Andrea, but bringing more energy into your heart. That's also coming through, healing energy coming through for your heart, which is about love, compassion, and self-acceptance. So be ready to love others as you love yourself. And it just feels that there's been disappointment, that you've had it's like a painful, almost like a painful ending. There's been a painful ending. There's some sense of heartbreak around you. And this card is saying, really love your heart, really bring unity into your heart, and practice this sense of things moving, changing, ending, beginning. A time for you to let go of what's done, what's been, what's in the past, and allow for your heart to cleanse itself, to heal, to release that which is negative. So if you could separate that kind of energy, because that consciousness is going to affect you, and create a real sense of separation, Andrew. All right, love the background, thank you. So that's my painting, actually. That's the painting that you see. Marie's in England. And so we're going to pick a card for you, Marie. We're going to pick a card for you. Okay. Alright, just clearing this energy. Okay. Well, I'm seeing a lot of love, Marie. It's definitely a lot of love. It does feel like there's a bit of a challenge. It's almost like there's a bit of a storm, which may be physical in nature. Maybe there's a storm coming. It just feels a bit like a couple of months away there's going to be a big storm. All right, so you have the love around you. So that's the first thing I'm getting, is a lot of love around you, and you are that loving person. So that's a wonderful card. It's saying it's almost like you're a matriarch. You represent the matriarch. So bringing love to the family, it's very much that you're here to hold that vibration as a woman, as a teacher, as a confidant. Love, family, emotion. You're here to hold that energy. There is a male energy around you as well that brings guidance about your family and home. So very much emotional balance. But as I said, it just looks like there's a bit of a storm on the way, but that seems like it's a physical storm, Marie. So just make sure your home is prepared for that. Last Opsis says, very cool. It appears to me as a equine breaking free. Is that like a horse? Well, thank you so much for that. My paintings are also for sale and available online if you do search for me. I've just got an exhibition at the moment, so we've got a few paintings up and around, and so thank you for the positive feedback. And breaking free, I think that's a beautiful concept, breaking free. So thank you everyone for being here today. Lots of love to you. Please do follow the show. I do appreciate it. And follow the social media channels. You can always book in a session with me as well and donate to the show. That really helps us. And have a beautiful week ahead. Take care. Lots